you doing down there? You're so funny. Oh my god, you're so cute. You are just the cutest baby, aren't you? You guys, I was not planning on filming today. Today was an editing day, and then there was a knock at the door. It was so loud. But lo and behold, we were expecting a package today, and here it is. It is the Illumicrate February box. I made a guess as to what the book is. Hang on, let me go get my notebook. I feel like Blue's Clues. Here's my handy dandy notebook, and in my handy dandy notebook, I have made... Oh, cool, I'm very excited. Okay, so my guess for the February box, the theme is The City Is Ours. My guess is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth? Shuttleworth. Here we go. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You guys want to see too? Let's open together. Yeah? Here, I'll scoot over. Ooh, I really appreciate that Illumicrate uses like this this kind of paper instead of like little crinkles, because the little crinkles is gonna get everywhere. All right, The City of Ours. March theme is fighting spirit, but we knew that. All right, we will lay out that so that way I know what everything is and I can tell you things. Perfect. All right. You guys. Oh, you guys, it just looks great. I'm sorry. Hang on. We're going to readjust the setting. I need you to see what I'm seeing and just get so excited, okay? Here's the box, you guys. That's what I see when I open it, all right? We already have some N.K. Jemisin Money Talks Bullshit Walks. That's exciting. We have Aiden Thomas. Is this a coaster? It's so beautiful. I don't want to use that as a coaster. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. And then here's the umbrella that we knew we'd be getting. Okay, all right. So, Money Talks BS Walks by N.K. Jemisin. This looks like it's just a... Is this just a wallet? Looks like a wallet. Ooh, card holder. Wallet if you want. Card holder mainly though. Very exciting. All right. It is a coaster. It is a coaster. It says You Don't Need Anyone's Permission to Be Yourself by Aiden Thomas, which is super cute. I have my little reading nook over there and I've been needing a coaster, so now I have one. It's so beautiful though, I don't want to use it. It's so gorgeous. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Next we're going to go with the umbrella. Has a cute little sleeve. It's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors, but I think that was a lie that they told us as children so that way we didn't knock each other around with our umbrellas. So I'm going to open this and see what it looks like. No button? The power shall always belong to those who give their lives to the city. Oh, it's a Crescent City one. That's cute. That's cute. Ugh. So this is Lunathon from the Crescent City. Super exciting, you guys. It's really pretty. I live in the desert. So any amount of like wet we get is always rain. So I super appreciate this useful item. And now I get to be a super duper nerd when it rains. Very exciting. This is a really pretty umbrella actually. I mean, I can imagine that if you live in like the Midwest or really like even more north than where I live, it's probably not going to be like the best umbrella because you probably want more of like like an a durable. You want more of a durable umbrella when you have like high-speed winds and rain and destructive weather. But for where I live, with its more moderate rain, I guess is what I would say for the desert. So it'll definitely at least work for my climate. I don't know if it'll work for other climates, because I know it gets crazy over there, you guys. But look at me. Oh my gosh. This is a true sign. Am I an adult now? Is this what being an adult is? When you can put your umbrella back in its little sock? I'm an adult. All right. Next we have a decorative plate inspired by the Gilded Wolves, which I haven't read, but I have been feeling a lot of FOMO about, and I'm sure this is just going to give me infinitely more FOMO. What is a decorative plate? What does that mean? Does that mean it's like the Illumicrate one I got? Oh, it's pretty. Aw, it is. It's like a trinket dish. That's pretty cute, not gonna lie. I do have one from Fairy Loot, and it is Cupid and Psyche, and it is just a little bit better, I think. Better? Should I say that? But now I have a trinket dish by my bed, and I can have one in the bathroom. So that's pretty exciting. Oh, and it's so beautiful. I love the pop of color. It's really pretty, this pop of color. Really pretty, that. Okay, cute, not gonna lie. Let's see, here is the art print. Edinburgh, home of the last falconer. What is the print? Here's for you guys, I'm gonna read. Alina and Kieran hunting fairies in Edinburgh. The falconer? So, I have no idea. No idea at all. I've heard nothing about this. The falconer? Moving on. Ooh, this must be the enamel pin for the month. Oh. Be still, my beating heart. Are you freaking kidding me? An anatomically correct heart in some pink and purple pastel color. Are you freaking kidding me right now? That is insanity. I am in love. You know, Illumicrate does, I want to say, I haven't gotten a Fairy Loot pin yet for this year, but Illumicrate always turns it out with their pins. I love it. It's so good. All right. And finally, the book, which I can see from the card, I do have correct. It is... Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, a dark and hollow star. Okay, so they didn't really change the cover. We do have pink edges, which is pretty exciting. All right, so we have our little author note. We have a cute little art print, it looks like, for a dark and hollow star. That's pretty cute. Let's see what... Play some sexy music for us, maestro. Dun-dun, dun-dun, da-da, da-da, da-da. Ooh, she's deep and purple and really beautiful. She smells good. It is signed. No plate, no sticker. It is signed physically. I know that matters to people. Signed by author. Yeah, it was, girl. Yeah, it was, girl. All right. The Cruel Prince meets City of Bones. And you know what? That's right up my alley. It really, truly is. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of magic users, okay? Definitely my favorite items are going to be, obviously, the book, because I was very excited to get this book, the coaster, and the pin. These are my favorite items. I'm not upset to have another trinket dish, especially considering how gorgeous it is, and I'm not upset to have a cute little money case. Love that I have an umbrella now. That's mainly why I'm excited about it. I haven't read Crescent City, so it's not like I don't like this fandom. I just haven't read it yet, so maybe I'll have to make a priority to read it. I think I've decided that every time I get a new box, we're gonna do an unboxing and a little vlog of me reading the book. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm really excited. I think it's really cute that this book is like primarily pink and purple. And I am a little disappointed that the cover is just the same as the original cover of publishing. But I don't hate it because it is the original cover of publishing, and so I did like the original cover. I am just not a fan of people being on the cover. Really. Like, if people are on the cover, I need it to be really stylized art instead of just more of like an anatomically correct drawing of a person. Or even like, because this isn't... Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, alright. Let's go. Let's go, you guys. Boom! In the author's note, it's said it is vitally important that we destigmatize the discussion of mental health, depression, and suicide, especially among our youth. While books are one of the safest spaces we have in which to talk about these very real, serious issues that affect so many of us, it is also crucial that you, the reader, be fully aware of and consenting to that exploration. As such, please be advised of the content warnings listed below, provided for your discretion. Content warnings for anger, arson, blood and gore, body horror, minor, death of a child, depression, disownment, divorce, drug use and addiction, grief, grieving, human trafficking, poverty, psychopathy. I'm never sure where to put the emphasis on that word. Stalking, suicide, past and off page, suicidal ideation, toxic relationship and manipulation, trauma, PTSD, racism, violence, and gun violence. Okay, you guys, let's talk about A Dark and Hollow Star, okay? I've read like three and a half chapters now. I think I know who our main players are and what is happening here, okay? The book opens with an epilogue of Alecto, okay? And Alecto is a Fury who's part of the Three Furies, and this goes back to like ancient times, like Greek mythology. I think in the Iliad, the Furies were mentioned. Alecto, Megara, and Tisiphone, okay? So Alecto is on trial, and she gets, like, banished from her godland, right? And is now human. And her name is Nausicaa? I'm gonna put it on the screen because I don't know how to pronounce it. I just look at the word, and if I'm getting it wrong, just let me know. So this is Alecto / Nausicaa on the cover. Very gorgeous, very beautiful. It's a little bit interesting. I thought maybe she was gonna be some variation of like a bad guy at first, but I don't think that's what's happening because she's on the cover, right? Okay, so then there's also Arlo, who is like the mainish girl. I mean, it's a varying points of view, so I think they're like all the main characters, but I think she's the other main girl. So she's half human, half fae, and there is a difference between fae and fairies, and then the term folk apply to all of that. And then there's also this term Ironborn that I am still confused on. I think it means half and half, or something like that? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Still confused. So Arlo is trying to get citizenship status from the fairy world and trying to convince them that she has enough fairy magic in her to be considered fae. There was also this chapter with this character called Hero, And it seemed as if he was human, and then this other character came in and was like, hey, magic? And he's like, I've known all along. So I feel like Hero is this guy. Hero is what happens, or what would have happened, to Arlo should she be denied citizenship, right? Like, seems like he's half fairy, like he at least has something like that, and he didn't have enough, and so they made him human and made him forget the fairy memories, and so then someone else comes to get him. So my theory right now, if you're gonna have a character in your story named Hero, I think he's the villain. Watch me now. There's also Aurelian? I'm not sure how to say his name. It's on the screen. So he's like our super competent, aware bad boy. He's really gorgeous and I love it. I'm sensing a lot of gay energy from him, and I love it. He is the retainer to the Summer Prince Vihan, who is also a character. I haven't read his point of view yet, but it happens. The main idea is that Iron Bloods, whom I think are half fae or fairy and half human, because there's fae. The fae are like, we're the most powerful, right? And then the fairies are like how, it is so racist, you guys. Because, right, the fae are considered to be higher class citizens because they look more human-like, or humans look more like them. And the fairies are considered second-class citizens because they look more like natural, because they have like bark fur, skin, or maybe hair of leaves, or wings, or something like that, you know? So I think the Iron Bloods are half human and half some sort of folk. That's the term, folk, for that. Instead of human, and then like there's like Asian and black and all of that, it's folk, and they're fae and fairies. There's also a lot of like, the beginning was so info dumpy, you guys. I'm having like just a little bit trouble processing everything, because there's like two versions of everything, right? There's Seelie and Unseelie, and then there's like elemental magic and aether magic, but they gave those ones names, and like they didn't tell me how to pronounce them either, so it's hard for me. When you don't tell me how to pronounce something, or it's not obvious how to pronounce it for me, it makes it hard for me to keep those terms in my head. So instead of having the actual terms for you, I have elemental magic and aether magic. So it was really, the beginning was really info dumpy. Not like I hated it, but it was very info dumpy. It was hard to process. I didn't hate it, it was hard to process. Iron Bloods are being murdered, and the High Court, which is made up of fae, and the High King, who is fae, aren't doing anything about it. And they've also claimed to, they think it's the Dark Star. The Dark Star, who is killing the Iron Bloods. So that's where we are. So far what I can say is I do like the contemporary setting more than I thought I would. So the folk literally live amongst humans. Their kingdoms are our true world. I don't know where everything else is located exactly, but I know for a fact that the Spring Court is in Canada. So it's like that, where like, you know, you have our human world, and if you're looking at a human map, and then it's like they took that and they're like, okay, spring is gonna be these countries, winter is gonna be over here, summer down here, and fall over here, right? Okay. It is really interesting how we're getting this contemporary setting, but we aren't forgetting the fact that we do have magic in this world, and it still needs to be explained even though you're giving us a contemporary setting. It does leave me a lot more time to wonder about the politics, which I love because I feel like there is a lot to dissect and get to know. So there's like the High Council, which is a whole thing, and then the High King, which is a whole thing. I do like the shifting points of view. Most of the time I don't, but in this situation I feel like the The shifting points of view matter because it's almost like a few different plot lines coming together and mingling and showing you how they all connected, instead of just like, it's the same situation just from two different points of view, if you know what I mean, right? So I am enjoying that aspect more and more. I am pretty much certain that this is Nawaska or Electo on the front. She is actually called the Dark Star amongst all of the fairy folk. And they're not sure like what she is, which is interesting because like they see that she like there's no aura of magic around her, but she has definite power for sure. So really interesting, really intriguing. I feel like more and more now we're going to get the different people all together into a situation and we're going to kind of come together. So I am excited for that point. So I'm going to do another check-in at halfway and see where we're at. I'd like to get halfway today, but that is like 150 pages. So good luck to me. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, party people, I am halfway through this monster of a novel. Okay, thoughts. First of all, it has been a long time since I read a book with like astounding dramatic irony, and not even just dramatic irony where it's like, oh, one person knows one thing and like he knows that we like this one person and the other person doesn't know. No, I'm talking about real dramatic irony that has to do with the plot, that because of the multiple point of views, it makes it so much clearer to have this astounding dramatic irony. It's amazing the amount that's just stuffed in here, layered nicely with some mystery, but not too much to where you're not engaged. The one thing I do have to say about the writing style here is that every sentence is a complex sentence, and it is hard to stay focused when every sentence has an ellipses or a hyphen or multiple commas, and at the end of a sentence, I'm still trying to figure out what you meant. What are you even trying to say? You added too many words and I'm too confused. So there isn't a lot of grace given with the sentence structure. I would love to have a few more simple sentences thrown in there, especially when they're trying to describe the difference between the Lessidhi and the Sidhi and the Seelie and the Unseelie, and where all of these magical places are on top of the current map that we have, and who all of these people are, and how every royal family has like a million branches to it, and we have to know all of them because all of these characters are off on those millions of branches. It is a little complicated, definitely very complexly written, and it's funny because I'm not confused, I'm not uninterested, it's just hard for me to process all of that. And I'm sure it has something to do with like the way my brain is processing all of these complex sentences that I need a little bit of a break, but it has been a little hard to just sit and read this book. Every chapter I'm like, okay, can I get up now? Because I feel my brain glazing over. And it's not, I feel like this is a me issue. I mean, aside from the fact that they wrote all complex sentences, I know I'm having a little bit of an attention issue, but if they would have sprinkled more simple sentences in there, I don't think this issue would have happened. Because it's definitely not lovable. It's extremely lovable. Arlo is a little bit unbelievable in her development because she's very like wet blanket. Like, she doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to challenge anything. Like, the one bit of her that was like a little like, ooh, I want to challenge this, was when at the very beginning when she was trying to get her citizenship into the fairy world. She wants to be completely fae and not just fairy. So, like, she's like, what if? That's her big thing. Like, what if I could be that, you know? And that would be fine if that continued on through the rest of the story. But that was our first chapter of Arlo, and every chapter after that has been her not caring. Like, she's sad when people die, you know, when the Ironbloods are dying, and she's sad and concerned that nobody else is doing anything, and she'd like to know some things. But I feel like she only gets into these situations because the plot needs her to. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. They tried to connect Arlo's motives for getting involved in the case of the Ironbloods dying to Vihan's motives, but it doesn't translate very well, because at least Vihan has real personal issues and the reasons why he is involved in this situation, and Arlo has nothing. Even when the Ironbloods that are dying start looking like her, she doesn't care. Like, I don't know if she has like no awareness of what's happening, or if she just, I don't know. Her motivations are very, very weak throughout this whole thing. Like, Arlo even says that she is a shy and meek person and she doesn't even jaywalk. So why are you breaking every rule that has been laid down for you? For what? Because you're curious? So it doesn't make sense until Arlo meets Nausicaa. And then it's like, oh, well, I know why you're doing everything, because Nausicaa's doing it, and Nausicaa is awesome, and you just want to be around Nausicaa. So, like, that makes sense, but Arlo is just not, she's not a relatable character. She's just a character who's doing things because the plot dictates it. And, you know, that's fine. That's mediocre. It's expected, but it's not the best. So my favorite characters obviously are Nausicaa and Vihan, because at least they have relatable qualities. I feel like I do like Aurelian, but I'm not sure. I feel like as soon as I get to know him a little bit more, I'm gonna get more confused. You know, it's one of those situations where I'm like, why are you doing the things you're doing? All right, so we have a whole rest of the half to get through. Let's get through it. pages left. Okay? I have 50 pages left. And has Arlo stopped being a wet blanket? No. But do I love her relationship with Nausicaa? Yes. So, am I that upset by it? Not really. I don't know why I enjoy this relationship between wet blanket and bad boy character. I'm saying bad boy character, but Nausicaa is a girl, so, you know, we're just gonna say bad boy. I do think that there has been more development with Arlo in her motives for wanting to be a part of this case and the discovering of it, but it's still... I still feel like she's only here because Nausicaa is here, you know? And there have been a few moments where she's like, what if? What if I could be this great? What if I could stop questioning myself so much and just be a hero, you know? And those moments are nice, but it's happening so late in the book, and after so much of her being like, I don't jaywalk, I'm shy, I'm meek. And it's like, okay, it's not like somebody else told us who you were, and now we're getting to know the real you. You told us who you were, and now we're getting to know some other facet of you. So it is kind of like, what? You know? And she seems like they're all about the same age, aside from Nausicaa, who's like hundreds of years old. But like, they're all 18-ish. Why is she the only one who acts like she's a 15-year-old child? You know? Like, she's so... Like, the amount that they reference the fact that they are in a story, like, they talk about plot points, and they talk about how this magical item is like this magical item in D&D, and how her life has turned into an RPG, but you aren't realizing you're the main character of this story? Like, you're not gonna main character it up a little bit? The dramatic irony continues to be peak. It is chef's kiss. I feel like I officially know how this is going to end because of how the points of view have connected already. I pretty much know how this is going to end. And I'm not upset. I'm just, this is obviously a series. Because it's just ending abruptly, it feels like. Like, it's just gonna end, and I have more questions, and this world, I'm not done. Well, now I'm done. And like I said, yes, it ended abruptly. Very abruptly. I'm not upset. Like I said, I feel like I knew this was going to happen. I'm definitely not upset. I feel like it just abruptly ended, and I do want more. Any first book in a series I don't think is as self-contained as anyone wants it to be, but this is definitely not self-contained at all. Like, there is a bad guy of this story and it ends abruptly, but there is so much more that's happening and so many more mysteries that were divulged and like more questions that I have because of the ending. And then there's an epilogue. Like, the ending is abrupt and then there's an epilogue and you're like, okay, I know who the big bad guy is now. But I think I knew that already, and what's happening? I don't know. It's so strange. Okay. We have to talk spoilers, so if you don't want to see spoilers, go ahead and skip ahead. But for now, spoilers. Hero's villain story? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I knew the second you put a character in a story whose name is Hero, and if he's not already in a great situation, I'm gonna assume he is the villain, and I did that very well. Leith being a hunter in the Great Hunt, and also being the hunter that Hero talks about? Whoa, okay? The book did a very good job of making me... Because when Hero first calls Leith his hunter, I'm like, ooh, maybe he's part of the Great Hunt. And then the more we start talking about the Great Hunt and everything else, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's Leith, because then Leith gives him his name. Leith gives Hero Leith's name. Following? Okay, so at that point I was like, so Leith is probably not part of the Great Hunt, so it's not a hunter. I wonder why he calls him my hunter. Of course they're the same person. Why wouldn't they be the same person? I feel like this book also did a lot of like, let's lean into some things that you kind of know, like a Philosopher's Stone, like the Furies, like the Four Horsemen, and you're just like, what? Everything just came together. And the fact that the Philosopher's Stones are based on the 7 deadly sins? Oh my god. This book is combining all of these great little mythology and religious aspects and just playing on them, and I love it. I love it. I did not know that Riadne was going to be the big bad guy. And I didn't think that Leith was going to be the big bad guy either. So when that epilogue came, and I was like, all right, what? I think it's Riadne. Riadne is the big bad guy, and Leith just wants freedom and chaos, possibly. He's definitely not a good guy, but I don't feel like his reveals are done yet either. All right, so final thoughts of this 499, because we can't do 500, 499 page novel. I really, really loved it. I loved and enjoyed the queerness of it. It doesn't hinge on revealing someone's sexuality. It just is. They're just there. And if pronouns need to be discussed, it is, without really like a removal from the story either. There is no like, well, hey, we have to stop talking about the story now because you misgendered somebody. It's more of like, this is part of the story. This person was misgendered and it's still part of the story, you know? I did not enjoy how much Arlo felt like the main character, even though there were multiple points of view. Arlo is, I think, the weakest character. She has a lot of self-doubt that translates into her being an unreliable character. Like, I can't believe that she would do something heroic just because she has self-doubt, you know? Like, just because she doubts herself doesn't mean that in those moments she's just gonna all of a sudden be heroic either. You kind of have to give more evidence that she would do something like that. And the person that Arlo is before this story is someone who doesn't make any waves at all, even if that means she is being hurt. She will not do anything about it. And so it's just very strange to see this character who doesn't even stand up for herself and thinks of herself as like baggage, basically, to then go ahead and be like, yep, I'm gonna go be a hero and I'm gonna do dangerous things. And, you know, even before the ending, like, you know, the heroes go to fight the villain, even before that, there were multiple instances of her doing heroic things while also saying, I'm not a hero. I'm too meek to be a hero. I don't even want to be here right now, while the plot has put her there. So I don't like the focus on Arlo. I hope either it switches to more focus on somebody else as the main character for the next book, or that Arlo really just becomes a more developed character, because it's not bad that she self-doubts. It's not bad. It's just that it doesn't make sense with the rest of the things that she's doing. It just doesn't. Someone who doubts themselves and also doesn't practice fighting or practice their magic or practice social interaction or standing up for themselves or anything is not ever gonna go after a dangerous murderer. I just really did enjoy this book. I didn't enjoy Arlo being the main character, but as much as I'm talking about that, all I'm thinking about is the rest of the plot that happened and all of the deities that were brought up. So Arlo being a weak character is probably the weakest part of this book, but it still doesn't make it a weak book at all. It's amazing. The adventure is so fun. The characters are engaging. The writing voice, because it's in third person always, regardless of the switching points of view, it doesn't give as much voice to the characters as I think it should, and like I said, there are a lot of complex sentence issues, but it's still very good, and I can't wait for more. So, cheers to me waiting a year and a half for the next one. And we're gonna give it a 4-star and be done with it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next one, and I'll see you later. Bye!